All right. Let's see there. Got to get situated a little better here so we can see. We'll drop them down there. All right. There's nobody in the live right now, but welcome back to the channel. Southern Motorwerks here. I'm Matt, and today we had no live, no new video out this week because I was desperately under the weather for like a week solid. So we didn't get to. Hey, what's going on there, Johnny? Definitely didn't get to work on anything and get footage recorded and edited and everything in time for our posting day, which was yesterday. So today is Friday night. We're going to do a little live stream here. We're out here working on the old C230 project over here, our 99 C230 project. And so yeah, we figured we'd just do a live stream for today. Y'all can join us, hang out on a Friday night, have a couple brewskis, and put some brakes on a retro Mercedes, you know what I'm saying? So we got the Mercedes. I need something else here. Hold on. All right, now we're ready to work on some cars. Cheers, everybody. Prost. All right. So we've got now no turbo and hood stack for this one. She doesn't like things that extreme, you know what I mean? Maybe for the drift wagon project at some point, you know, diesel Mercedes wagon. I don't know, you know, something in the future, but just commuter car for this one. But anyways, hi, how you doing, everybody? So today, let's get the camera down there a little further so y'all can see better. Something like that there. So we've done a bunch of work to this one already. Livy, you want to grab that can of brake parts cleaner off the bench over there? We've done a bunch of work to this one already. This thing fought me bad yesterday getting the parking brake situated on it. This is one of those deals on an old school setup that's got the parking brake inside the center drum of your brake rotor on the backside here. You can see we put this on last night, and it's surface rust on it already. Flash rust because it's raw steel. But yeah, so this thing fought me hard getting this freaking parking brake set up in there. Finally got it situated. So tonight we're just going to we're gonna put this back on as soon as I clean it up a little bit here. Just gonna wipe down the surface with some brake parts cleaner. All this little surface rust that flashed on there, that's gonna get you know, wiped off whenever, as soon as you run it the first time anyways. But so I ain't really super worried about it or nothing. But yeah, got us a new hub on there. We can adjust that parking brake later if we need to. I'm not super concerned about it. Again, not super worried about it because this stuff's just going to flash rust overnight again anyways. So, you know, it's all good. Yeah, automatic on this one. 5-speed automatic transmission, but it's got that sequential transmission like my 430 does, so you can shift it between all the gears manually. And because it's an old school Mercedes, it will hold it in each gear. You can redline each gear. It ain't like on our Volvo wagon. You can shift it manually, but once it gets to a certain RPM, like you know, it'll jump forward. It'll skip to the next gear on its own, and it'll downshift on its own also. Whereas this one actually will hold itself in a gear. Um, no, never use the parking brake. Anyways, it's you know, as long as it stays still in a park, it's Florida, man. It's flat. You know what I'm saying? No need for a parking brake, really. But anyway, so this side's all situated. So basically, what we're going to be doing with this one, we're reusing the calipers because the calipers are perfectly fine. But let me show y'all here. These rubber lines on the calipers are super. I don't know if y'all can see that real well. They're super dry rotted and cracked and everything. I'm looking at the cordage, the inner workings of it right now. So no, it's not super hard to fix. It's pretty easy stuff as long as you've done it a few times. But these rubber lines are super old and brittle, so we're going to be replacing the rubber lines. We're going to put new rubber lines on these calipers, and obviously we got the new rotors on there already, and then we're going to be putting new pads on it also. So yeah, that's what we're working on tonight. So got a bunch of tools laid out here from fighting this thing to get the hub bearing in there and whatnot. This got those old school press-in hub bearings. Olivia, if you want to roll that seat over here so you can sit down, you ain't got to stand there the whole time. But fought me hard getting that hub bearing in and out of there too. That thing was solid in there. But anyways, all right, so cut this zip tie. It's been holding this brake caliper for like 6 months. Yeah, the slide hammer, that's exactly what we used to get it out of there. It took me a solid, I mean, what did I pound on that thing for? Probably like a solid 10 minutes of pounding on it with a slide hammer to get it out of there.
It was humble.
Yeah, it was, I'm pretty sure it was all original stuff. Yeah, definitely easier in the south than up north. I did those on our XC70 wagon up north in the salt states, and that thing fought me. That took heat and penetrating oil for about 3 or 4 days straight before I was able to get it, busted loose. The CV axle and the hub bearing were both seized. So the CV axle was seized in the hub, and then the hub bearing was seized in the, knuckles. That was on, I think I was doing the front on that one, so it was the steering knuckle. And yeah, that took quite some doing. Took quite some doing for sure. Definitely easier down south. Like I said, it took me about 10 minutes with a slide hammer and we got that one out. But yeah, it took a few days up north. With the I think I was using like a 3-pound sledge or 5-pound sledge because I was replacing the CV axles anyway. So we were pushing the CV axle that way. And yeah, it took some doing. Yep, for sure. But anyways, all right, so we're gonna need, we got a hard line that goes into there. We'll get it off the brake caliper first, I reckon. Let me see, I doubt any of the wrenches that I had out here for the other stuff are probably the right size for this caliper. I might actually have to bolt it onto back onto the hub to hold it still for a minute. Be right back. Let me grab some more wrenches. Oh yeah, to cut out the last. Yeah. I've been there before. It's sometimes you got to do what you got to do, man. Get them things loose, especially up there in the salt states and whatnot. It's a fight, man, to get them things out of there. That corrosion ain't no joke. Being born and raised in the South, I thought it was, never experienced it before until we went up there to northern Maine and worked on a Maine vehicle. That stuff ain't no joke. son. I'm just gonna grab a whole collection of wrenches here. I think we might use. And then flex strips also. Ah, you're good. All right. Grabbed a bunch of wrenches because I don't feel like making a bunch of different trips there. Got cut by shrapnel when the bearing cage blew apart. Goodness gracious, man. Yeah. That ain't no joke. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard about the rear axle bearings in Chevys and stuff like that getting seized up there. But thank you, man. I appreciate the sub. I'll definitely go check out your channel too and sub for sure whenever we get done here. Appreciate it, buddy. We are working on a 98 Mercedes C230 over here, doing brakes we're on the right rear axle here. All right, let me see here. Pretty sure it's 15 mil. Yeah, but I don't think I'm gonna have enough for that one. Let's use the old crescent wrench here. I was penetrating over yesterday. All right, so that was loose. In the best interest of trying to get this stuff to bust loose easier. So far, not too bad. Is that really that 11 millimeter? Yep. All right. Grab me. Did I bring that PB blaster over here? It says. Yeah, the old wheel bolts instead of lug nuts on here. Yeah. But thank you though, man. Yeah, it is pretty decently clean for a 98. We actually rescued this thing out of a edge of a cotton field close to Alabama.
Cotton/peanut field.
Yeah, cotton/peanut field. Yeah, the older gentleman we bought it from, it had been parked up for a few years. I think it was sitting since 20 or what was it 18? It was like 18. It had been sitting for like 7 years when we got it. Guy's brother had ran over. Yeah, I know I do need to invest in some line wrenches, but the guy's brother had ran into got a little tipsy one night and ran into a clothesline pole, concreted in clothesline pole in the yard. And so the whole front of it was smashed in, hood, grill, front bumper and everything. And the driver's, driver's front quarter panel there was smashed. And so we ended up rebuilding the whole front of this thing. And it turned out pretty decent. It was a lot of work, but it turned out pretty decent. But we picked this thing up for steel and couldn't pass it up. But 2001 Yukon. Yeah, it don't take long, man. Them southern vehicles, I tell you what, I took a Florida vehicle up north, and we had I coated the whole thing before we went up, and 2 winters up there, and it had started eating through the underbody coating and everything. And that salt ain't no joke, man, for real.
I think diesel was the only one safe. The bottom was plastic.
Yeah. Everybody up there uses fluid film. Y'all use that up there where you're at, man? The fluid film coatings underneath the vehicles? Let me see here. What's that? Maybe a 15. I can probably get the big wrench on that one. Maybe. If I can get onto it, there that is one heck of a low profile. Yeah, that fluid film stuff is definitely a good setup up there, man. We never got it done because, like I said, we were only up there for a couple winters. But I was definitely going to invest in it if we had stayed up there. For sure. That stuff's a godsend in a salt state, no doubt. If I can get a wrench to fit on this here. Goodness gracious. Maybe it's not a, let me take a closer look there.
There's a flashlight behind you.
Yeah, where's my flashlight at? Yeah, I don't think that's, I don't know how to get in there on that one. A little close quarters on that thing. There she goes. Scared me a little bit. Drain pan underneath there. Sis, can you grab me another drain pan? A small one of some kind? Channel locks, yeah. Yeah, that's fine. You can hand me that. I thought I had enough. Oh, you know what it is? It's way out by the shop area. That's fine. Yeah, just hand me that big one for now. Just trying not to drop brake fluid all over the place, but my other small, reasonable sized pans all the way out at the, yeah. Civic, no, it's a 98 C-Class Mercedes, so C230 here. Huh? Oh, that's been there. That was there whenever I was buffing on it, for sure. My light's trying to fall. Oh, I gotta get my little rubber caps here. Little trick, if you take those your little rubber dust cap off your caliper, whenever you bust these lines loose, usually you can slip this over the end of the line. It'll help keep your fluid from leaking out too bad there. If you got the, you know, if it's just a double flare end on the line. If it's a threaded end, obviously that's a different story, but okay. And that one loose. And we just got a bubble flare. I'll take and slip that over the end of the bubble flare. That will hold most of our fluid. Keep most of our fluid in the reservoir there. Doing some burnouts in the old Yukon there, man. We got the 5.3 in there, right? 5.3 V8. All right, there's our caliper there. So we're gonna go ahead and take the line off. Try not to fling brake fluid all over the place, because we were reusing the calipers. Oh. Actually, we're gonna pour that brake fluid out of that caliper because that looks like poo-poo. Obviously, we're gonna be having to put a bunch of new fluid in here. Oh, freaking 6.0 with a cam. All right, I see you, man. I see you. Right on. All right, so yeah, this is those lines I was talking about there. I don't know if y'all can see. We get the flashlight in there. Oops, sorry. Blinded you, sis. Sorry. Yeah, y'all can see those lines, how they are worse for the wear, for sure. Things are weather, dry rotted, weather checked and everything. And yeah, they're pretty bad. So that's why we're replacing the lines there. But yeah, yeah, pretty bad. High volume oil pump, new bearings, molly rings, gap boost, remanufactured 243 heads. What I think sounds like it's got a pretty good setup on it, man. Heck yeah. All right. So can you grab me the rubber lines on the bench over there, sis, please? It's those the black boxes to the left.
Oh.
Yeah.
All of them?
Yeah, because I'm not sure which one is the back line, so I'm gonna have to find them out of the box there. Yeah, I'm not sure which one is which, and I don't think they're labeled. Yeah. So we'll just match up links here. Pretty sure the longer ones are gonna be for the front. I should have two shorter ones for the rear, because obviously the front needs to articulate a little more, you know what I mean? I think that's one of the rears right there. Yeah, because it's got this funky setup on it. Okay, so let's hold on to that one. That's a front one. Try to sort them a little bit while I got them out. And that's a front one too, because it's longer and the end on it is different. Yeah. Yep, Italian brake lines here. Woo! LS swap the drift. We ain't even got the drift car yet. That's a project for another day. I thought I was working on getting that yeah, the E-Class wagon, the old Mercedes E-Class wagon there. We were gonna use that for like a cheap low buck drift project, because I mean, who doesn't want to drift a wagon, you know what I mean? But that one kind of fell through. Dude never answered, you know. Hit somebody up, hey, I'll come down there and give you money, and you know, they just don't answer back. I don't understand it, but should be built to handle 700 horsepower. So heck yeah. I mean, if it's 17,000 miles, I'd say it should last them pretty good. Should be able to handle that stuff with no problem now. All right, so let me see here. Let us. I think we're going to put the lines on there. I'll mount the caliper back on, and then we'll swap in the new brake pads from there, because this has these brake calipers like this on the top. They pull out from the top like that, so you actually don't have to take the caliper off to do the brake pads. I'm pretty sure. These are like an old, almost like a Girling style caliper from the old Beamers and Mercedes and stuff like that from, oh, I stand corrected. They're an ATE caliper. It really is an ATE caliper. So if you know anything about old school German cars and Swedish cars, Eurocars in general, ATE and Girling was who made like all the freaking calipers for them.
Even has Germany right there.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. These are just an updated version of the calipers on like our 50-year-old Volvo out there. Pretty cool. Anyways, sorry, nerding out on old school European stuff there. So I think I'm gonna screw it into the caliper first. Uh-oh, the threads don't match. I'm just kidding. Just wanted to freak her out for a minute there. All right. Then we will thread it up through there to get into that hard line. I'm gonna let this one hang for a minute because it's a brand new brake line and it ain't gonna hurt it none. Alright. whenever you're doing this too, you definitely want to make sure you clean up all the excess brake fluid that leaks out, because brake fluid is highly corrosive. So pretty much anything it touches is going to get rusted if you don't clean it up afterwards. Yeah. Yeah, the quick pad changes. Yeah, it's, it's kind of funny, like stuff like that. Like this was even on that 50-year-old Volvo. Oh yeah, yeah. You end up get that buildup of pressure in the rear that doesn't want to release. But yeah, talking about the brake or the brake pads coming out the top on like performance vehicles. I know you see like big bare brakes on like classic car conversions and stuff like that. They all do that stuff. And it's kind of funny because it's like super old Euro technology, but there for the longest time, cars just completely went away from that tech for some reason. I don't understand it. It's super freaking convenient. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I know most of the vehicles we've had over the years working on this stuff, man, it's, you got to take the caliper off. You got that little spider thing that you got to push into the piston on it and stuff like that, but super old school technology. It's, good stuff. Good stuff. All right. So that's on there. So I'm going to take this. I don't know which way it's going to be. Probably like that. Yeah. Oh, I guess we can, oh yeah, because we've been pushing on the brake, so I'm going to have to take this. Gonna have to take the pad out before I can do that anyways. Before we can mount it back on the car here. I need, sis, can you get me that hammer over there, please? Because we got to knock this center pin out here. Oh yeah, 4-wheel disc brakes. Yeah, right on. On a sand rail, I bet that thing stops on a friggin' dime like that, huh? Pull one bolt, flop over. Yeah, just fold it over like that, and then you can, yeah, right on. I might have to hit this. It's kind of a pain when these aren't mounted on the vehicle still. Get my foot up behind it here somehow. Maybe I can stick it up there. That'll work. You got to knock the center pin out here. Which normally isn't no big deal because it's on the vehicle, but there she goes. Cool. Now, get you a pair of pliers on there. Normally you kind of soak these down with some fluid and stuff first too. Definitely helps. Especially when they've been on there as long as this one has. All right. All right, so locks in there like that. Just trying to keep a mental image of how the setup was there. Okay. Now we can mount it back on there. These two bolts here. Oh yeah, the old foothold, man. Let me see. I had to put a new control arm bushing in the bottom of this. The rest of them were actually pretty tight still. Didn't really have any slop in them or nothing. But the bottom control arm bushing literally like crumbled in my hand whenever we took them out there. So I was like, yeah, should probably put some new control arm bushings in. That was like, what, 2 weeks ago. We were recording this for a new video that should have came out already. But man, we got something going around up here in the Florida Panhandle, and ended up friggin' sick as a dog for a while, and just couldn't get out here and film. Was barely making it through work, you know what I mean? So we said the heck with it and just bit the bullet. Couldn't post nothing new this week, so we figured we'd let y'all tag along for a little while we do a live out here. Alright. Okay, that's good and solid now. Now we can push back on that because we're not going to reuse these pads. One might have to get something thinner on there. Yep. I don't think these are going to fit in there because our piston is open so much from from that. Actually, you want to grab me that big C-clamp that's on the bench over there. Yeah. No, on the other bench, on the left. The new bench, yeah. Or old bench rather, yeah. Up there on the left. Big C-clamp. Red thing, red button on it, black, silver screw and handle. No.
You're saying words I don't understand.
Big C-clamp.
I don't know what that is.
See. We're going to try to use a C-clamp on it here. We'll see if we can bust it loose with that real quick. We're just kind of taking our time here. No big rush. You want to grab out of the box with all the brake parts in it over there. Grab the there's 2 boxes with brake pads. One's smaller. That's the one that's like this big. Look at these little like motorcycle brake pads here, man. Come on, goodness, y'all see that? Like, pretty sure the brake pads on my old Yamaha are like the same size there. Speaking of, if you guys dig motorcycles and stuff, we'll have that project coming up soon too. Got my old 82 Yamaha 650. Ain't rode it in like, God, what's it been? Almost 5 years now she's been setting. Yeah. Cannot wait to get back in the wind on that thing. I love my bike. If you press the piston out, push there the ABS. Now this one's kind of no, not a Virago. It's actually a Seika. It's got the inline 4-cylinder instead of the V-twin, but same era and everything as the Virago. Yeah. Oh, you can just hold on to them for a second. I don't need them just yet, but we will here in a minute. Now this one's kind of old school. These old 90s Mercedes ABS wasn't quite that sensitive. So I usually just push these pistons in and don't have any problems with it. Now I know some of the newer ones and stuff like that, the ABS kind of tends to freak out from what I understand. If you do anything like that, if you get stuff trapped in there, like you're swapping out calipers or something, you get a bubble goes in that ABS, you pretty much have to have the computer to sit there and operate the different functions on the ABS to get the air out of the module. But these are old school here, so we don't really have to worry about that too much on these things, thankfully. That's why I like all these old school Mercedes and stuff, man. They were just so, you know, they weren't as sensitive as cars nowadays. You know what I'm saying? They were just easy to work on for the most part. You know, yeah, you need a couple kind of specialty tools and stuff like that, but for the most part, not bad at all to work on. Um, and these things, friggin', as long as you take care of them, man, they run friggin' forever. This thing right here runs and drives, and it's got 377,000 miles on this thing. I mean, come on now, you know? Yeah, yeah, I've heard those. The next generation after mine is we got the old W163, and from what I understand, the W164 that came after that, the ABSs are like that. It's pretty sensitive stuff. They're a pain to get the freaking air out of the ABS pumps and whatnot. Um, so luckily we don't have to deal with that on this one. Yeah, in which we're just pushing these just a hair. I mean, we're not friggin' moving them very much at all. They weren't out a huge amount. So we're basically just scooting them back in, maybe, shoot, probably not even a half an inch on either one, you know what I mean? So it's pretty simple stuff on these old school Mercedes. This stuff anyway. There are some complicated things, you know, that do get to be kind of a pain in the rear end, but brakes is fairly simple. So, all right, now put those bolts back in there, and we can get our new pads going in here. All this stuff, if you're just joining the live, or later on you're watching this live after this posts as a normal video, we will have this as a full-length video breaking down much more detailed, kind of step by step on how to do these brakes on these W202 Mercedes. And it's going to be the same process for just about, you know, anything real similar like this. And we'll be posting that not Thursday in 1 week, but Thursday in 2 weeks. So 13 days from now, basically. What's that? Yeah, hopefully come up before too awful long, man. I've just been so far behind on everything. We're friggin' fighting off that, I don't know what kind of crud that was that we got a hold of. That like half of the people at the day job are freaking fighting it off too. But hopefully not too long. Yeah, we were kind of down to the one vehicle there for a while. Diesel went down on us again. More electrical problems. Go figure, you know, on a 164 platform. Electrical problems, no. So we got that, I think, sorted for now. Had some kind of draw. Couldn't figure it out for the life of me where this draw was coming from. Just could not find it for nothing, and ended up, I put a battery operated disconnect on the battery. So click a button, kills all the juice to the car. When you want to drive it again, you click the button back on, hop in and unlock the vehicle like normal. So, all right. So, brake days. Yeah, hand me the box there. So if y'all, this is what we're putting on for brake pads here. Some Wagners, you know what I mean? These are the thermoquiets. We went with a ceramic up front and just a basic semi-metallic in the back. So they had them on like closeout deal. This is my daughter's first car project. That's what this is here. Usually we drive a Volvo for our daily, but This is our daughter's first car project here, yeah.
You put it back in the box.
Yeah, for now, that's fine. But we just picked these up on Rock Auto. Rock Auto has excellent prices on brakes. It's where I get like almost all my stuff like that. So definitely a good buy from old Rock Auto. They just drop in there like so. I am going to go polish these up with a wire wheel real quick, so I will be right back. Y'all stick tight. Unless you want to try to grab the camera and come over here with me with it. Kind of had to move the camera there. Just kind of polishing these. This is the pin that holds it in the middle there, and as you can see when we pulled it out, it was pretty tough going. So I mean, they're like 20 years old, you know, it is what it is. So I'm just kind of polishing them up with a wire wheel, and then we will reinstall. Nothing really wrong with these or nothing, you know. Just trying to clean up a little bit of rust whenever you can, you know what I mean? A little sanding pad here. Oh, yeah, that's much better. Much better. Cool. All right. Now, whenever we take these and put them back in, we're gonna apply a little bit of grease to this just to make it slide in a little easier, and a little bit of, you know, corrosion protection. So I'm not going to use anti-seize because I don't feel like my hand's being copper colored for the next 3 months. But what I'm going to use instead is just a little bit of brake caliper grease like this. Will work just fine. All right. Yep, exactly. Graphite lube. Yep, that's it. Try to get this camera resituated here. All right. Yeah, just a little bit of graphite lube. The stuff works great. And you get a can, and you know you'll have the same can, unless you're working in a shop, I suppose. But other than that, you'll get a can, and you'll have the same can for the next 15 years. So I think I bought this can of graphite lube like when I first got the 430, which at this point was 6 years ago, something like that. Yeah, and it's the same can. I haven't used the spray. Does that one work? Does that one work just as good, or you know, or does it kind of help you not be so messy with it. Because this stuff kind of gets a little messy sometimes depending on what you're putting it on, you know what I mean? Does the spray kind of, stay put a little bit better? All right. Put our pin back in here. There we go. And you come around the back side there and give it a couple taps. It should be all set. Oh yeah, tandem slides, yeah. Well, most work pretty decent. Might have to take a can of that next time I'm at the parts store there. Trying to line up this pin a little bit. There she goes. Perfect. Awesome. Oh, we gotta remember to tighten down that just a way. Okay, should be plenty tight enough. Always better to PB Blaster makes a good one. Okay, right on. Can you pick it up at just regular parts stores like O'Reilly's and stuff like that? Whenever you're tightening this stuff up, it's always better. You always go tighter with it later. What you can't do is correct it after you've put 47 Ugga Duggas on a 10 millimeter size thread pattern and stripped it slap out. But yeah, right on. I'll have to check that out next time I'm in town there at O'Reilly's. I'll stop in there and see if they got some. All right. So that should be good. New brake pads in there. Calipers tightened down. We'll have to bleed these, obviously. I'm not going to bleed them tonight. We're going to do that another day, probably tomorrow or later on this week. Calipers tightened down, new pads are in there, pins in there, new lines on there, new rotors on there. Cool. So like I said, we're not worried about bleeding these right now. I am just going to install, and then we'll go around to the bleeders and bleed all these. And yeah, Ugga Duggas, man, you know what I mean? Or, if it's the German version on these German cars, it's actually Gutentite, 47 Gutentites. I'm kidding, it's a horrible dad joke. I'm sorry. Please don't leave the live stream.
It looked like he was out here yesterday.
I know. But anyways, all right. So this one's ready to go. Yeah, this one's ready to go. Can you go grab me one of the new lug bolts over there? We had to get custom lug bolts for this thing because for like the third time. Because this car uses a M12 thread pattern, and it normally uses an R12 ball seat on it. But she's using the wheels off of my 430, which uses a 14 mil, an M14 thread pattern and an R14 ball seat. So I had to custom order lug bolts that are M12 thread with an R14 ball seat to work on these wheels. And they're huge and long, and I may have to trim the ends of them off. So I'm kind of trying to see here. Because what I don't want to do is bottom these things out. Yep, I'm hearing, yeah, we're definitely going to have to trim some of these off. They were way too long. You can hear it touching stuff already in there. So, we're going to measure, we're going to measure at some point Yeah, we need to cut quite a bit of those off. So, anyways, we're not going to worry about it tonight. I'll just screw in a couple of the old, or actually we can just, yeah, that's like the whole, yeah, you can hear it hitting the springs and stuff in there from the parking brake. Okay, so we'll definitely have to trim these, but it's fine. This can stay up in the air tonight on the jack stand. We will measure and get the proper length on that. Yeah, but tonight we'll put the wheel on there just for safety's sake, and I'll just throw a couple of the old lug bolts down in there just to hold the wheel on. Wrap tape where bottoms and cut off. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's a that was no bueno. It's a man, you wouldn't believe the cost of freaking custom lug bolts for something like this. I think I spent like $100, dude, on a custom lug bolts for this thing. Craziness. And they came from like Europe somewhere. I couldn't even find any here in the States. They came like from Germany in order to freaking work. Yeah, it's insane. But anyway, yeah, we'll just, I'm not even gonna lower it. I'll leave it on the jack stand, but we'll put the wheel on there for tonight. But, you wanna roll the wheel over here for me, sis?
This way?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll get them in there and put some black tape around them, so you can make sure we get the length right and everything. Be good to go. That's how I did them on mine. I ordered, I think I used Stance Magic was the name of the brand that I used when I put the custom wheels on mine. I had to get custom lug bolts for mine. And I had to do the same thing for those. I couldn't find the right length. It was either too short or too long. So I just ordered the too long ones and nipped the end of them off. That was the better option. All right. And this also has 20 mil wheel spacers on it. Yeah, so we put some stance on it, like a EK Civic hatch over here. You know what I mean? No, we were just trying to clear these 430 wheels. She likes them, but they don't have a lot of. They didn't have a lot of offset. So in order to bring them out, we put some 20 mil wheel spacers on there. So yeah, but it all worked out. It looks good. It rolls. So that's the biggest thing, I reckon. Where did the bolt go? I'm just gonna bump these just a hair. Cool. There we go. Awesome. All right. Boy, that wheel's filthy. We got to clean that thing up.
The whole car up.
The whole car's filthy.
Yeah.
It has reacquired barn find dust.
Bugs.
That's what we're gonna call it. Yeah. They really don't have any sort of offset whatsoever. I think it's a plus so high. What is it? Plus 42 millimeter offset. So it's that's like all the front of it is all the way out here, and the whole rest of the wheel's pushed in there. So we had to use the wheel spacers, but it works good. Nothing rubs. Going up and down bumps on this old dirt road, nothing rubs. So, anyways. All right. So I think we're going to call it there. think we're gonna call it there on the old live stream. Thank you. We definitely like them. Those are Lexanis. In case anybody's looking for a good cheap wheel or tire option, those are Lexanis. They work. I think they're made in India or something like that. It's, you know, good budget tire. Works perfectly fine for this stuff. That light is just killing me over there. All right. So I think we're gonna call it there. Appreciate y'all hanging out with us on the live stream here. And while we worked on some brakes on our retro 90s Mercedes here, this will be a full-length video coming out in 2 weeks from yesterday. So it'll be not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after that. And this will be a whole full-length video, in-depth instructions on how to do these wheels, or how to do these brakes rather, and then we'll go from there. But we're gonna call it quits there for the night. Got some grub. I'm gonna go in, and you have a nice day too. So we're gonna go in, get some grub, and we will pick this back up in the morning, recording on our GoPro with our normal microphones for better audio and whatnot. My daughter's keychain here on her Mercedes. I don't know, man.